Good morning. You've reached our Mandala universes. We gather here together every day at 8 a.m. Pacific time to connect and ground and draw mandalas together. Good morning, Laura. Happy solstice. Yes, I've got my solstice candle magic going. Happy solstice, Kathy. Glad you're both here. I was just flipping a book for a reading, and I'm just not finding it in this book today. So maybe I'll read from somewhere else. How are you all this morning? Hi, Carol. How are you? I love that everybody's chiming in with solstice greetings. Okay, I think I found my reading. Ooh, and I found a little drawing of trees. I think I did that. And the number 416. Can anyone decipher that for me? I find things like that I don't even remember doing all the time. Also, in that book, I found this little freedom thing that I laminated for some reason. Like, freedom, okay? Good morning, Deb. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, everybody who has come in. Carol is riding the stationary bike while listening. And Amy says, yes, happy solstice all. So glad to be here to celebrate it. Oh my gosh, Laura's address is 416. Okay, maybe I was talking to you when I doodled that, but why would you tell me your street address number? Deb says, meteor happy today. I thought about that, Deb, as I was driving across the Golden Gate Bridge. We had optimal situation here in San Francisco because it's the new moon, so the sky was dark. We had a nearly citywide power blackout, so the street lights and everything off, completely off. So, but marine layer, thick as pea soup, so couldn't see anything at all. I have to definitely leave the city to view any kind of astronomical events. There's just never a clear sky here at night. It's a very rare thing. Good morning, Cheryl. Yes, happy solstice. Good morning, Skyle. Oh, I was saying we draw mandalas. Mandala is the Sanskrit word for circle. And we just begin with a circle, and it becomes a container, a space to let whatever you're feeling, whatever your emotional state is, whatever you are present and conscious to in this moment, pour onto the page in whatever form it takes. Yesterday I was painting in a restaurant in San Anselmo, and oh God, this reverse thing just drives me bananas. It was a very dark, rich blue crosshatch textured in wood panels. Fun stuff. How are you all? How are you feeling? Deb says, yeah, if I could teleport myself to Portland and enjoy a beautiful meteor shower with you, Deb. Ugh, that would be absolutely amazing. Today is 12/21/2025. Good morning, Ms. M. Kathy says, checking in, honoring the darkness. I like that. I am checking in, rested and honoring this longest dark night of the year. I mean, it was just amazing. The city without streetlights, without traffic lights, without just so much light pollution, people call it. But yeah, quite beautiful. Amy says, feeling accomplished. Just finished a nearly 1,000-page book this morning. I was at Salvation Army store on Friday morning, and I found that book, The Hate You Give, which I really wanted to read, and it was in like pristine condition, and it was really thick. I was like, is this like a large print version or something? And I've got it in my hand, and I'm walking to the register, and I don't know why, but I flipped it open for a second, and I realized it was in German. So I guess telling that story in German just takes a lot more pages, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Kathy says, what amazing timing for that to happen. Yeah, it was really amazing. Our little half of a block had power, and it was red all around us. We don't understand why, but when things like this happen, we're either the only little cluster of buildings that doesn't have power, or we're the only cluster that does. We don't understand why. Scal says, it was indeed apropos that the darkness came on the day before the solstice. It was a bit magical walking around in the dark. Yeah, it was. Let us begin to move into grounding. I got up early and I did a solstice grounding with Danielle Laporte this morning at 7 Pacific. And it was beautiful, but it was the same one that we did last time. And so I'm not going to share that one today of the snow-covered mountaintops. Instead, I'm just going to go where things take me. And I'm feeling inspired by this glowing golden candle. Excuse me. I invite you to look around your space and just take in, let your nervous system take in the safety. Maybe tell yourself, I am safe. Right here, right now, I am safe. And just start to let your breath begin to sweep energy out of your body. Nice, long, thorough exhales, just fully emptying your lungs and your belly. Empty, empty, empty. And as you breathe in, imagine breathing in sunlight. Feeling the warmth of the sun radiating up through your spine, down onto your face, down onto your shoulders and chest. Feeling the sun warming your back, warming your legs and arms, hands and feet, until you begin to feel that the sun is speaking to the light within you, your inner flame, your inner light. And it's drawing that flame up towards the roof of your head, drawing that flame up through the top of your skull. Letting the light from that flame just clear away any cobwebs, any fog, any looping thoughts, any negative self-talk. Letting the flame just shine a light on things that are hiding. And I invite you to imagine that you just gently start to levitate up towards the sun. Just rising up from wherever you are, above the trees, above the clouds, rising up into space, above the atmosphere. And your light becomes a star in a vast universe of stars. And even though it is dark in space, you are facing the sun and still feeling its radiant warmth, moving through your whole being. Its radiant golden light moving through your whole being. And noticing that from your inner flame, from your inner sun, there are golden threads connecting you to other stars, other people. And this beautiful web of golden threads starts to become more and more visible to you. You're so aware of the sun and its brilliance, and you become more and more aware of the connections of golden light between your inner flame, your heart center, and the heart centers and inner flames of others. And that web is just glimmering and shimmering, connecting you to stars in front of you, to the left, to the right, behind. And it goes on as far as your eyes can see. And you can feel the connection, feel the warmth, feel the exchange of loving light moving through this web, powered by the sun, eternal. Feel your place, your part, your presence in this miraculous, in this miracle of being. And as you continue to soak in the warmth of the sun and the love flowing through this web, Send love out from your heart to whomever you wish, maybe one special person, maybe a group of people. Maybe to all the hearts that don't realize they're connected, that feel alone and lost and forgotten. And just send this healing, radiating, glimmering light to them, to their hearts. Oh my gosh, this text thread, I'm sorry, is dinging its face off over here. And you can bask in that as long as you like. And if you feel like coming to the page and drawing, you can do that at your own pace. I like to draw my circle, continuing with the breath of calm, of stillness, inhaling and exhaling. Skyle said that for anyone who likes to cook, there's a delightful little cook store on Divisadero that is closing at the end of the month. Deb said, I need a 20-second tutorial with the salt watercolor sequence. Ah, okay. If you're talking about using it for watercolors, I just use very wet watercolor. And then, oh wait, no, I'm thinking alcohol. Salt. Yes, fairly wet watercolor. Fairly wet, yeah. And create whatever shapes of watercolor you want on your page, and then sprinkle the salt on and let it dry completely. The wetter it is, the longer it will take, obviously, but the salt can do more over time with the more water that there is. If it's too dry, it won't really react. And I have found no difference between sea salt, kosher salt, iodized salt, whatever. But yeah, paint your thing, keep it pretty wet, and then sprinkle the salt. Cheryl says she went to a candlelight solstice celebration and it was so lovely. Oh, that sounds nice. Skyle is baking holiday recipes passed down 4 generations this morning as a tradition to bring in the light. I am safe. I'm going to be doing some family holiday cookie making as well. Passed on for sure from my great grandma to my grandma, to my mom, to me. Carol says, love the imagery. Thank you, McLean. My golden thread connects with each of you. Yeah. Amy says, beautiful grounding, but I desire to do both. Stay still, grounding in the sun, and draw. Yeah. And happy generational baking, Skyle. Yeah. Oh, I didn't do a reading. Well, that's okay. That is okay. Pardon me. I feel like I have so many spacescape mandalas. Like this one was kind of new moon oriented, but I feel like I have so many of these deep blue, purple, black with stars in them. And you know what? I might do another because I enjoy them deeply. Okay, I gotta move my water. So I have some interesting news to share. I don't know how much of this I've told anybody yet, but I met a woman on the bus. And through the random way that conversations sometimes unfold, found out that she is a forensic genealogist and helps adoptees find their birth families. And she has created a family tree for me. I know my great-great-grandparents' names. I know my birth mother and birth father's names. I have half siblings. It's really, really mind-blowing. And doesn't feel overwhelming right now, but that's just right now. Everyone is mostly from Tennessee, and they've got funny nicknames. And I'm hoping that by putting my DNA results on a couple more sites, that a few more connections are going to come through, and I'll be able to reach out with confidence to some of these people who are living. So that is huge. And if you are not adopted, it is indescribable. There's no way to explain to people what it's like to go through your life without ever looking at another person that you know you're blood related to. There's no way to describe that. And so there's no way to describe what it feels like to have that awakening at 57 years old. It's blowing my mind. And this was I was on the bus on the way home from a really hard job. I was covered in paint. She had a big dog. I sat next to her because I didn't, she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about the dog." I was like, "I love dogs." And we just got to talking. And it led to this. And I always had this fantasy that I would see someone on the bus and be like, "That's my mother." But close enough. Seriously. Yeah, so that's what's been going on with me. And I would never, ever recommend that anybody put their genetic material out into the interweb at this point in internet history. Only if you were seeking what I'm seeking. That is the only reason to do it, in my opinion. Because I don't trust the giant conglomerates and what they're going to do with it. However, I have a good goddamn reason. Like, if you had asked me a few years ago to put my stuff on 23andMe, I would have said, "No way, are you crazy?" And I'm about to do it because it could unlock some important connections. But I always knew there were certain, this is what's nuts, right? Like, there were certain things that I always had an intuitive knowing of, and a few of them have been validated. It would be, I wish that I had somehow like thought to write them down. Like, I have a feeling that, way back when, so that it could be like, yeah, see, I've had this, I've been carrying this feeling my whole life. Kathy's also baking and decorating today sugar cookies. Isn't that the most fun? The most fun. And Cheryl says, oh, wow. And Amy says, wow, the universe delivered this to you on a bus. Yeah, yeah. Take the bus, people. Public transportation. Come on. Kathy says, oh my goodness, Michelina. And Ms. M says, whoa, that's such a gift. Magical and amazing, says Skyle. And Amy says, thank you for sharing. Yeah, it's just bananas. And I feel like timing-wise, there's some kind of divine timing happening because my dad died in January. And part of the reason that I put the brakes on all of this was that when my mom was still alive and this door opened for me, she really freaked out. After having said my entire life that if you're ever curious, I will help you in any way possible to search. And when I initiated that, she could not handle it. So I just stopped. And my dad was supportive, but I just feel like there's a timing thing. Like there's some kind of like showing respect or, yeah, there's honoring and respecting and showing gratitude for my family, for the people that raised me and loved me. So, yeah, it's been big. It's been big. I'm sorry, it's 28 past, and if anyone wants to share something that came up in their practice today, that would be wonderful. I have the background for my mandala, but I'm going to add, once it dries, I'm going to add some goldy gold in there. Ooh, and it would be pretty right now to sprinkle salt on that wet stuff, Deb. That's a good idea, but I think I'm not going to. Kathy says, it presented itself when you were truly free to accept it. Yeah, thank you. That articulates what I think I'm trying to say. Everything was just right. Just right. Leticia says, listening, I'm getting chills. Thanks for sharing. Laura says, allow the light to lift and connect you. Ms. M says, happy solstice, friends, and return of the light. That's right. Tomorrow, the return of the light begins. Deb says, inner sun lights the dark. Kathy, connected to the light. Carol says, wow, Michelina, thank you for sharing something so personal. Ordinary situations beget extraordinary experiences. Yep. You're very welcome, Ms. M. Oh, Deb, thank you. She says, lifting you, Michelina, brave and true. Thank you. Thank you. It does take quite a bit of courage, actually. So thank you. I'm going to receive that. Skyle says, let the light in. Our time is up today, but I hope you all continue to have a really beautiful solstice day and solstice night. And just get deeply in to the dark, holding on to your inner light, letting it be a source of comfort and courage and connection. And with that, Amy says light transfer. I like those words. With that, I give you big, big hugs and say happy Sunday. I will see you tomorrow in the ethers.